PrazimProductions.
This is C-Aye Purcell, and welcome to the Gumbolaya Podcast, a verbal goulash of love between the moments that matter. Part 2 in studio.
Tsunami.
Tsunami.
You can just call me Tsunami.
Part 2 of the, I guess we should call it the sex talk, because that's most of what we've been talking.
I mean, it's probably going to turn into something
A
else.
sex episode, the sex episode, I don't know. All right, another question. Here's a question.
Okay. I feel nervous.
Don't be nervous. I'm just trying to think how to word it.
Okay.
Do you think it's healthy?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of know your answer.
Uh-oh.
You think it's healthy for people to have close friends of the opposite sex when they're in a committed relationship? Now, I was thinking more so in the construct of marriage, but even in a truly committed relationship, if it doesn't carry the title and commitment level of marriage, still in a committed relationship,
I feel
healthy,
like it
unhealthy.
I feel like it can get tricky.
Like,
I feel like it can get tricky.
Just slide your chair for a little bit.
Just slide your
so you
face
can
on
be comfortable.
forward, guys. How you doing?
I'll cut that.
You're right. No, it's
I'll
all
cut
good.
that.
Actually, leave all that because it's funny. I think it just depends. My ex had a friend that was his best friend. It was complete BS. They never really messed around. I think they tried when they were 15, but she dated his brother. She dated this, but she was also very promiscuous, and her personality was very. She was like a user. She liked my boyfriend because he pays for everything and he's like, would help, with her with things and this and that and the other. Yeah. She didn't check on him. She wasn't really, if I see something that's a genuine relationship, I respect it. But it was BS. It just seemed like it was BS. And I pointed out some things that I was like, I don't have a problem with the female thing, but I'm lying because I do. But, I had an issue with how she handled herself around me. When she first met me, she needed to prove her territory of some sorts, like grabbing his phone and being like, oh, I took your thing and give me your phone and being all in it. And I feel like it sometimes can create an uncomfortable feeling. You're like, okay, because now you got your best friend and you're in a relationship and you're calling her and telling her stuff about things that I need to know about. I'm going to get offended.
Of course.
But I guess it just depends.
Well, that's one of the trouble zones because feels like a breach of trust that would naturally
you wouldn't
occur.
tell me first. Go talk to one of your guy friends. But I have a close, very, very close friend that's a guy, but he happens to be gay. So I don't know, but I feel he's very, very affectionate. And I could definitely see my boyfriend looking at me crazy because he kisses me like all the time. Not like we don't make out ever. It's not like that. But he is always like joking and like he smacked my butt. But he happens to not like women. And he reminds me of a girlfriend. But it doesn't matter. It might make, my dude feel comfortable. I don't know. I think it just depends. It is a sticky situation. I mean. Well,
more so, would you give, if you were giving advice to someone on a yes or no, obviously different situations require different, perspectives and contexts. But in general, is it a healthy thing for people to have?
I think that it can be an unhealthy thing. And I think that you need to reevaluate how you're going to go about keeping that friendship and making your partner comfortable. Yeah. You can keep that friendship, but you have to make sure that you prioritize your relationship and make your partner feel comfortable and involved in things so that there's no left out. Like, oh, by the way, we're going to take a trip and go on a retreat together, me and my friend.
Right. Well, the reason that's a good point. The reason I asked is because I took a class. Yeah. It was a Bible class, and the teachers are wonderful people. They have a very healthy and strong marriage, and we were talking about different aspects of marriage through the topics that we were covering at the particular time, and I remember them saying that men should not have female friends, women should not have male friends once you're married because it's just a recipe for disaster. And initially it hit me, it struck me pretty strongly because my closest friend is a female. Right. My closest friend is someone that I've known since I was 18 years old, 18, 19 years old or whatever. and we're super close. She's like a sister. She's part of our family.
Does she have a boyfriend?
Now she does.
See, then that's fine. Bring the boyfriend with you.
This was many moons ago.
Okay.
And anyways, my point is just that when they said that, I started thinking about the fact that when I was actually starting to date my wife, that was a concern of hers.
Of course.
And it was never actually a problem. I could just tell that she was uncomfortable. And then sometimes it would actually be very difficult in conversation and concept.
Of course.
But it was because they didn't know each other. They were getting to know each other. And once they did get to know each other,
cool.
It was very different because my friend is mature. She's respectful. There's nothing happening there. You know what I'm saying? So, but I know that that's one situation and that's not always the case.
Yeah.
And I also have known a lot of brothers and a lot of sisters that they got the friend from way back in the day.
Yeah.
And then eventually, or sometimes inevitably, it seems, there's some hanky-panky, funny business goings on.
That's
so
true.
That has always remained a question, like, should we err on the side of, not having very close friends that are on the opposite side of the sexual spectrum?
Like I'm saying, I feel like if you have already established friendships, then that's something you have to work out with your partner.
Yeah.
But don't go searching out new friendships unless they're with a partnership. Like you're together and there's two friends and they're in a couple relationship and you guys are all friends together. Cool. But I don't think, being like, oh, I just met this couple and then I'm going to go hang out with the girl.
Yeah.
That would be weird. Or if your wife's like, oh, I'm going to go hang out with so-and-so's husband because he likes certain things. That's going to just leave room for just weird things.
Agreed.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think if you're established, cool. Establish it, get to know one another so everything is cool. Find out the insecurities that each person may have or whatever and discuss them. Reassure your partner. You got to reassure your partner. You got to let them know, like, I would never, and I'm just there for you. Like, my boyfriend's funny. He's like, I'm not hanging out with no girls. I'm not personally training no girls. I'm not doing anything because I don't even want to have that happen or that game played. Yeah. Because I've had a family member that was like secretly like snapping pictures of my dude at a party, and I saw her.
This was a friend of yours, you said?
Yeah, and I was at a party, and I was like, "Why are you taking pictures of him?" And he was like, it was like at the pool with the shirt off. And
is this the same friend?
Nope, this is a totally different person.
Okay,
totally different person because I know who you're talking about.
Like somebody.
No. And I was like, "Why are you taking pictures?" Oh, I was taking them for you. I don't need you to take pictures for me.
Yeah.
I got a gang of pictures. I have them at my house.
The current boyfriend?
Yeah, current boyfriend. Because I haven't had so many, but this is the current boyfriend. Yeah. And we laughed about it because she was like, she tried to send me the pictures all fast and nervous, but I was like, clearly. And then when I was out of the room and she was talking to him, she kept talking about how her relationship was so messed up and how she wanted to leave her husband and, really? And you telling that to my dude while I'm not there. So it's just certain things.
Did you have the conversation with her? Like, what?
I did. I was like, girl, bye. Like, you need to know that there's certain things you just don't do. Like, you just don't do it.
But, I mean, did she ever actually go ahead and open up and be vulnerable and be like, my bad, I'm sorry?
Of course not, because she was guilty. That's okay. Everybody grows on their own levels.
I don't think it's okay. Like, because
it is, because
if someone doesn't actually come like with realness,
then they're
how
not
do
around.
You know? Well, yeah, but
they're exed
you
out.
said use the word friend.
Well, okay, she was an older friend because she's not around anymore because she's not going to be invited to the cookouts or anything, even though I don't have them, but I want them.
Yeah.
No, just bye. Yeah. Like, I just know there's certain. This has happened a couple times, but with people. So it's good to establish clear lines drawn in the sand.
Yeah.
In your relationship, and then to spread out to the friends.
Yeah.
I even had to, even with girlfriends of mine, I had to draw a line. Just because they were so close with me that they just felt that they could just do certain things. Like one girlfriend would come over, she would sleep in my bed when we were really, like, I was single. I didn't care. She could sleep in my bed. But now that I'm in a relationship, I'm not putting my dude on the couch so you could sleep in my bed. Now I'll do that for my mom or something, but not my homegirl. Like,
that's what I was about to say next, is that it's important for you to draw, or for us to draw a line for ourselves as well. Most of the time when people say boundaries, they're talking about other people needing to make boundaries. I have to draw my own
because I'm very close to a lot of. I'm a very loving person, and I'm like, let's have a slumber party. Let's hang out. But one day I had to grow up. Sad.
What that brought to mind, the reason this particular topic came to mind is About the last month or so, I just had a couple of conversations along these lines, and then also I took a lift to go join my wife at an evening event, and I'm the guy. I sit in the front when I take a ride share, and I talk to the person. I just enjoy. Obviously, I enjoy talking, but so I was in the ride and I was talking to this young lady, wonderful young lady, and we eventually started talking about her relationship. And one of the things that she was mentioning is that she gets very frustrated with her man because he has a problem with any male friend she has.
Oh, that sucks.
Right? But the adult in me reminded the kid in me not to speak too fast.
Yeah.
I needed to hear what the deal is. So I was about to be like, you can do whatever you choose to do or whatever. But then I'm like, I don't know her. Maybe she might be a little too friendly.
Yes.
I don't know.
That's important.
Right? So she explained he gets very jealous, acts up whenever she has male friends. However, she said he also acts up even when she's not like talking. Nothing. She was like, you meet a dude at the stove, you say a couple pleasantries, and you get in the car and dude starts tripping. And I was like, okay, well, one of the things two things to keep in mind is, number one, you are not his child.
No, exactly.
He cannot tell you what to do.
Yes.
He can tell you what he thinks.
Yep, how he feels.
He should tell you how he feels, right. And you should be respectful of that. However, he doesn't make rules for you. Secondly, you also have to understand, if he loves you, there's gonna be a small amount to a large amount of insecurity, depending on the guy. Course. Hopefully you grow and mature into where it's just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? A little bit. You should be worried a little bit, but not to the point to where someone can have a pleasant conversation with the grocery store cashier.
And you're like, why are you talking to
him? What the hell? What was that about?
Yeah, that's a lot.
What's going on? But so anyway, our conversation went in that direction, and there was a whole bunch of other stuff going on with them. But that's what brought this subject to mind about, what are the lines between friendship and inappropriate friendship when you're in a committed relationship. Obviously, not everything, so much is catered to the situation, context.
Yeah, context.
You know what I mean? Like you were talking about the homie that used to crash with you in the bed. Yeah. Now you got to do, that's his bed now. Like you can't.
You can't do that.
Did she throw a fit or something?
She kind of we don't talk anymore. But I know. No. And you know what? It's weird.
Can I ask you a super personal question?
Ask me.
I want to be careful with my wording. I'll say it like this. I have learned that I have abandonment fears and issues. Yeah. And that I also seek connection all the time. Mm-hmm. So when I'm in situations dealing with friends, like my desire is always to increase in intimacy, closeness, and anything that interrupts that is a real big deal for me. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I continue to hear you mention friends acting up and then splits. Like, has this been a season of change in friends?
It's been a season of change. It has been a season of change. It wasn't at once. Mm-hmm. I mean, it wasn't overnight. I mean, it kind of happened like in a certain time of change in my life and how I started changing and creating. I had to create boundaries. When I got into a relationship, I think prior to me being in a relationship, I was single for quite some time. I allowed a lot to people to get away with things. Not putting in much effort or saying little sly things. And I guess I was just alone. So I just allowed things to happen. But once I started to put more love and attention to myself prior to getting the relationship, I started to make some little changes. And that upset people in a weird way. Like they would notice that I was not tolerating certain things. And then once my boyfriend came, then more shift. But it first started with me loving myself more. It started with me taking more time to honor me and do the things I needed to do for me. And before my boyfriend even got into this state and he was just online, I started to wake up and start to see things. And I was like, wait a minute, I need to do this differently and I shouldn't do that and da-da-da. It was a good thing. Like it was a process, but that was part of it. And once I got in a relationship and found somebody that like respectfully, like he's so respectful, treats me like a queen, opens doors for me. I remember
him. Yeah, he seemed like a class act.
He is, and he'll open doors and do things. And she was in a situation where they're not married and they've been together for 14 years. And my
This is the picture taker?
Nope. This is the sleeping in the bed one.
Oh, yeah.
She had a boyfriend. I would drive all the way to go see her far away, a few hours away. And she would come visit and whatnot. But as soon as I got a boyfriend, like committed living in the house, her energy changed because I was the same. Like I was still like, come over, hang out, just no sleeping in the bed.
Yeah.
But we can hang out, we can do these things. I think that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
And then it was a conversation where she was making a joke about something he would say, and she was like, something, and, you know, he'll be like, BITCH, this and that. And I said, oh, no. Girl, no, he would never say that. And it was before he had moved in. So I'm just like putting it in the universe that he was not going to do anything like that. And I think I got really serious, not angry, but I got a little serious. And she's like, well, I'm just kidding. And you always make jokes and you can't take a joke. And I'm like, I don't know. That's not funny to me. Saying that your partner's going to call you that kind of a name.
Yeah.
She got offended. That was one of the things. And it just kept going and going and going. And the more close I got to him and I kept honoring myself in things that I thought were normal, like not sleeping in the bed, not saying disrespectful things, making sure you call me before you flake. She just had a freak out session and was just like, you know, yelled and screamed at me one day.
Yeah, but there was no way for like reconciliation. Like after you have a tough conversation, then you'd be like,
we tried.
we're still friends, and I still love you.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel. I'm that person, and I tried. We went out to lunch. Everything was fine because she reached out and was like, "I miss you. I'm sorry," and I just have all these things going on. And then she just ghosted me after that. And was like, and I was like, "What happened?" And she was like, "I don't know. Just things are not the same anymore." But what's not the same is that she is basically feels like a mirror is being put on her because she doesn't live the life she wants.
Yeah.
She doesn't have the job she wants, even though I thought her job was great.
Yeah.
She's not getting married.
Yeah.
They've been together for 14 years and Justin always talks about marrying me. Yeah. And she cried to me about it one day and I was like, this is some serious business, right? Like that don't have nothing. I feel like none of it has to do with me. It's just that I am living a life where she sees something and it's tough for, and she needs to get, she's 14 years is a long time.
It is.
You ain't getting married.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna marry you.
How long do you think is too long? I've had that conversation a lot with people.
I feel like it depends on the individual. You know your relationship, but if you feel it's a concern.
What do you think is the line between healthy and unhealthy?
For me, 5 years. Matt, I feel like that's even long, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna take that long. It's only been 3 years and I feel like it's already okay. You better get it together.
Yeah.
But I would never pressure anybody. I want it to be authentic.
Yeah.
And if I'm comfortable and I'm like, wait a minute, maybe I don't want to get married right now because I need to work some things out within myself, I'm cool with that. Yeah. But 14 years might be a little much.
Yeah.
You know, might as well get married. But, you know, everybody's different and has their ideology. I think I created some kind of thought. I think I brought some stuff up for her. She didn't even know what was going on. So that was that. But relationships with women and men and, man, it's just, once I got into a relationship, I realized there's certain guy friends that I have that I don't really just want to hang out alone with. I feel weird. I feel weird.
Yeah.
I don't want to call them over like, hey, come over and eat with me and like hang out because it feels weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I went through that because like I was saying, because I have that instinct and desire for connection with, you know, pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
When I got married, I had a lot of friends and I can't think of anyone off the top of my head that had any malicious intention or ulterior motives in terms of trying to, you know, weasel in between me and my wife, nothing like that. But I remember several occasions where I'd be hanging out with a friend and it didn't feel right. Nothing was wrong.
Yeah, but
everything
it just feels
was fine.
Weird.
It just didn't feel right to me. And so that's why when that comment was made in that Bible class,
you were like,
well, I am fascinated by areas of gray.
Yeah.
Like where you can't really draw a dichotomous line between right and wrong. It's interesting to me because how do you help someone navigate an area like that of their life? And also, how do you navigate those areas for yourself?
Right.
Because everything's not black and white. And when you're in those in-betweeny areas,
trust your instincts.
I actually don't.
And you
I
should.
trust God because my instincts would tell me to smash.
No, really? Yeah. That's not your instincts, is it?
Yeah.
Or is that your hormones?
Hormones or instincts.
Really? Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? When an animal is hungry, the
God
instinct says hunt.
Right.
And go find some.
That is true.
Some rimp roast. And you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I can't trust my instincts because sometimes I'll be hanging out with. I remember being at lunch with a coworker. We went to this spot or whatever to get some grub.
That's hilarious.
And she drove, and instead of going back, I thought we was gonna go back eating the lunchroom, whatever. She drove somewhere. She started driving. She was like, "Oh, it's totally this park to go eat." And I was like, right. We go. Let's park. Anybody around? And I felt odd. There was a couple looks. You know what I'm saying? Nothing actually happened.
Yeah, you're right.
She didn't do
but
it.
But still.
It just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And in that situation, I was worried that she was trying to be subtle. But in the other situations I was talking about before with my friends, it was just more, I don't know if this is healthy.
Right.
Particularly because I know myself.
Yeah, for sure.
And when I'm intimately tight with someone, like there's just not a lot of boundaries I think of instinctively.
Yeah.
Because I know this person, I love this person, I can trust this person. And so if I'm with someone that doesn't have an external sense of black or white, left or right, amen. Then I'm like, the possibility of uh-ohs, you know what I'm saying? I slip over and fall into some booty, and we don't want that.
I slipped over and fall into some booty.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So sometimes that's usually what would be in my mind. I'm like, you know, I'm real comfortable. I'm real happy. I also remember chilling one night with a friend. We were watching a movie, and she was getting like snuggled up, and I'm like,
you're like,
I think that's over the line.
Yeah.
But again, she's the homie, friend, nothing. But I'm like, but if we should be snuggled up.
Yeah, like if my boyfriend came home and I'm snuggled up to my homeboy, he'd look at me like, what the hell? And or vice versa.
That was the beginning of the transition of thought for me. I was thinking if my wife came home.
She would be like, what?
She would be upset by seeing this. Now, I know that she knows this other person and she knows me. I'm not trying to cheat on my wife.
Of course.
But the fact that would be a negative sight for her, I'm like, that's a line. And I was also feeling it myself. So I felt like a jerk being like, get off me. Cause I love this person. That's what I'm saying. This is such a weird thing it's not anymore. Cause I just, my life has been conditioned. I remember talking to a friend, said the same thing. Well, I was talking to him. Him and I both know a particular guy that lost his wife because of infidelity. Oh. And he's one of the guys that believes it's inevitable for men to cheat. And so me and my friend were talking about the fact that we don't really invite or create that type of atmosphere. So, I can't think of a single woman that's ever like really hit on me like, let's do it. There's been a couple of suggestions, a couple of people dipped their toe in the water, but nothing for real. And I was talking to the homie and because I was asking him, I'm like, yo, you in the studio with like gorgeous women and y'all are super close. And like one artist in particular, like it was more like his little sister kind of, but they were, huggy up and stuff like that. And I'm like, yo, you ever think about messing around? And he was like, I don't create that type of atmosphere. Yeah. So that's never, he said, no, he doesn't want to do that. But also he's like, I don't really create that vibe so that I don't have to deal with the temptation of it. Yeah. And so that question mark of, how close is too close, how distant is too distant, because obviously we're meant to share love and be loving to people. Where's
I have
the line?
A person that I was friends with that was very flirtatious with other men and was in a relationship. And I just felt uncomfortable. I felt uncomfortable around it. It was very disrespectful to me, like the, touching on the chest and the laughing and the, oh my God, your beard and oh ha ha ha.
She was being flirtatious with Justin?
No, not with my man, with the guys out when we would go out.
Okay.
Like if we would go out to dinner.
Why did that bother you?
It bothered me because she was in a relationship, committed.
Oh, I missed that part.
No, it's okay. She was in a committed relationship. I knew that person.
Yeah.
We weren't close friends. I actually didn't even like the guy.
Yeah.
However, I still just had this feeling I don't want to be around that. And
Me
I don't want to be
neither.
around that because then it makes me feel like I'm supporting it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm not about that life. And then she ended up cheating many times.
Yeah.
And got pregnant. And had an abortion.
Boy, say pregnant.
It's a lot. That's a lot. I was like, that's too much for me.
Yeah.
And it was hard because I'm trying to not be judgmental, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to participate in any of that. That's not how I roll.
Yeah.
And then what about the line that when people are just, your friends are just too vulgar with you personally? I talk a lot and I say a lot of things. But I don't want to know specific details about how you do things to your partner. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do people talk about stuff like that?
Well, I got a couple friends.
I guess maybe it's different for guys.
I don't think it should be. Should it be different?
No, I'm just saying maybe it is. I'm not sure because I'm not a guy. So I don't know if guys talk about it. Some guys are very private about their woman. They don't want to tell their friends like, oh, she got the best ever, because they don't want somebody to go and
get that
search
bleep
it
ready.
out.
Get the bleep ready. You were saying, go ahead.
I feel like some things, there is definitely a nice shade. Like, okay,
now
girls.
that is surprising to me because like I was saying earlier, you've always given me the vibe that the world and culture of sex is exciting and something that you kind of...
It is exciting, but that's where people misconceive me because I'm comfortable with my sexuality, because I love to talk about sex.
Right.
That doesn't mean that I need to talk about, okay, when I'm in a committed relationship, I don't talk about how my man's sex is to me. I feel like that's weird. I don't want to have that discussion with another woman about my man's penis. Like, I don't think that's appropriate.
Yeah.
Oh, he be doing that. No, why?
Yeah.
Why? That's private, and I am a very private person when it comes to personal stuff. I don't mind talking about things and what I've done in the past and how I feel about topics. But when it comes to intimacy with my partner, I don't need to discuss those details. And I get weirded out when girls ask me questions like super intimate details like, oh, well, does he have a big penis or does he have this? I'm just like, why do you care?
Yo,
why do you care?
You got some interesting friends. You got a homie that's asking you how he hanging?
People be asking that kind of stuff. But I am involved. Okay, look, I say friends.
I mean, Justin is a really, really hunky dude, though. Yeah. Like, he's a really
I wouldn't, fella. But I'll just say this. I don't think I need to say anything because I'm in a relationship with him. So,
well, that's none of their business.
No, like, it is. But I'm saying I would, but what my answer to this particular person, okay, first of all, I'll say this. I have a lot of circles because I do a lot of like groups and things like that. So saying the word friend is a reach sometimes.
I was going to ask you that. Like,
the word friend.
When I think
but I mean person that I was involved in or see on a regular basis. It could be like, I've had people that I work with on a regular basis that are, they get comfortable. Okay. But I'm not going to be I told her, I was like, I'm not going to be in a relationship with somebody that I'm not satisfied with. So that's that's as far as I need to go with it. But the details are unnecessary because you're not getting it. So it doesn't matter.
Right.
It really doesn't. Yeah. But I don't know, maybe I'm old fashioned in that way. It's funny. I think
that's okay though. Everybody ain't supposed to know. I mean, that's an incredible. I can't think of a detail of your relationship that could be more intimate.
Right.
Like someone asking,
dang, is she got a tie? Is she tight? Like that would be. I don't know. I can't imagine my dude talking about me in that way.
I'm glad none of my homies have ever asked me anything.
That would be the most disrespect. I would feel disrespected. I would not be
okay with that.
No, right? And I feel like there's a level. Like
I think,
you can say your wife is beautiful. Your wife is beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
You could be like,
so
yeah, she's gorgeous. I love her pictures. But I feel like, if somebody's like, your wife is beautiful, she looks nice, that's fine. Yeah. Oh, are you guys happy? Cool. But when you start being like, so does she do this to you or does she do that to you? You're like, ugh.
Like, I was just thinking about it. It's never happened to me, but
good. It's made me feel weird.
I hope that I would take a moment to kind of share perspective.
Yeah, of course.
And be like, you know what?
This is my perspective.
That's really over the line. That's not okay. I don't know if I'd be angry. No. I think it would depend on the delivery, how they brought it up. I don't get angry.
It made me think like, whoa, what am I? Yeah. But this is the thing, because you told me something already about myself that you just seem like you're this. People think I'm a certain way. They judge me by the way that I...
Yeah, but a lot of that is also media conditioning. Like I don't think you should take it personally because like in my experience and what I've seen in life, there usually is two sides of the sexual spectrum. Yeah. There's either like prudish and, almost everything is a no-no other than, missionary and, whatever. And then the other side is do whatever is fine, all is fair, whatever.
I'm somewhere in the middle.
Well, that's what I was saying. I don't think you should take it personally.
No. I just like to recognize how I'm perceived because then it answers a lot of questions as to why people ask me these questions. We
also had some pretty wild conversations. You got to remember,
yes.
I have more experience with the Tselane from, what was that, 2007?
No, maybe even, I don't know.
I can't remember when. And they put like comments below this video.
Yeah, was it 2004, 2007?
No, because I moved to LA in 2004.
It was 2007,
it
2008.
I think it might have been later than that. I don't know. We can look it up.
Okay.
But anyways, I knew Tselane then, and we had a lot of conversations. Yeah, but was buck wild.
Was I talking about sleeping with multiple people? Because I don't ever recall saying.
No, nothing like that.
See, this is what I'm saying.
I just mean like you were /are very intense, very excitable, and very vocal about very intimate stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to give the details. You
can give some.
Because I don't
even remember.
You threw a lot on the table at some of those. Give me, we would go out to eat after, all of us would go out. And you would throw some wild stuff in the conversation. So I'm saying a lot of my recollection of who you are and how you think was from a while ago.
Oh, yeah. But that same person was still doing those things with a person, not everyone. And I think that's what people think is that I'm just out the streets doing stuff. But I've only had so many relationships. Yeah. And I'm not free like that. Like I was never like a one-night stander. I think it happened once. I've always had relationships. I've always had boom, boom, boom. Like I've had several relationships. I mean, I
hope I didn't intimate that I was thinking your butt was in the streets. Like, no. All of us. No.
I was just thinking of how people see me. I'm always curious as to what people perceive of me and why they feel comfortable to say certain things.
Sure.
You're good. Like I don't feel weird or bad. I'm just like, oh, that's probably why they thought it was okay to ask me about my, dude's penis or something. Like, like that's why. Maybe because I'm so comfortable. And I taught about
fair enough
yoni eggs, and I did a podcast about yoni eggs, and I talked about women's sexuality when I was in school.
Cool. Yeah.
So people think because I'm talking about these things that it's okay, but I'm talking about something that's health wise. Like this is going to help you with your whatever. So
yoni eggs are for Kegels, right?
Kegels, exactly. They're like the Ben Wall balls, but new, and they have really cool crystals. So I feel like people are just like, oh, I could talk about anything. And I'm not offended by most things, but there's a line that I'm like, you're not going to get into my bubble. You're not going to know about my personal relationship. Other people, like, a person that I think is cute or whatever, I don't care. Person on TV, I can talk about whatever.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm like half and half. I'm so crazy and so traditional at the same time.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah.
I don't think it's crazy. I don't see you as crazy at all. In fact, like, beginning this podcast with you has been really interesting because there's a lot about you that I didn't know because we were young and wild and clowning and you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of depth to you. I'm also we're a little bit older now, like maybe 4 or 5 years later, probably longer than that,
right?
We have to find those dates.
I gotta find those dates because I feel like you look the same, so it doesn't really, you look like you got younger.
Well, that was a while ago. But I totally, what was the point? We've like rabbit trailed 8 times.
Yeah, we talked about so many different things, relationships, all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I really wanted to talk about? Your homegirl, Martina Big. I like how it's your homegirl.
That was the best. I watched that video over and over.
Martina Big, if you guys don't know who that is, please Google her. Yeah. She is a woman from Germany that is transitioning herself from white woman with blonde hair and really giant fake boobs to a black woman. And she has this funny accent, and I do the best imitation of her. You guys got to check it out on my Instagram page, Tselane Love, even though it's probably going to have to be spelled, but her voice... oh, because my name is Martina, and I love it, and I want to know that I'm from Germany, and I have some place. She really does talk like that.
How did you find
a black woman?
I just love the black there.
She's
beautiful.
She says that she's a black woman now, and she has the kinky hair.
I think I saw her on a talk show or something, and or whatever. How did you find out about her?
It was Maury Povich.
Yeah, I think that's what I saw.
And she was talking about it, and she has like this such an extreme look. She looks like a clay figure.
Ridiculous.
She looks like she put like literal clay.
I'm sorry.
No.
That's so mean.
She just okay.
But she does.
She's a woman that's transition. If I started to transition and be white, people would probably make fun of me too.
Yeah.
But she's mocking. To me,
you think so?
I feel like it's a mockery of black people, even though she has a love for them.
Serious,
I think
though.
she's dead serious. Yeah. That's why I don't dislike her.
Yeah.
I feel like she's so entertaining.
Yeah.
But she really thinks that she's giving this whole black. She's like, I'm going to get the black hairs and I want to get the traditional African clothes. So she's mixing all these cultures and black things because she's just taking them like they're like little candy grab bags. Yeah. And I'm just like, that's not even.
How do you think? I mean, I don't know if this is too deep of a question for such a silly, character.
Yeah.
How do you think a community or culture is supposed to respond to crazy stuff like that? Similar to like Rachel Dolezal, for example.
She was a little different.
You know what I'm saying? Well, but obviously there's a breach. She
has black kids. She was helping the black community. I don't know what Martina Big is doing for the black community.
Well, no, I just more so meant the delusion. That's all I meant.
She's transracial.
The delusion.
Transracial. Okay, it's called transracial.
Right.
I'm transracial because I'm just white. I just started telling people that after Martina Big came out when they're just like, I'm black woman. Oh, it's fine. I'm white too. Thanks. Yeah. Hi. I'm gonna start putting that on my applications.
Right. See if I can get a better job.
What's your name? My
Next
name
time
is
I get
Tselane.
stopped by the cops, you'll be like,
Is that
officer, before you shoot me, I'm actually a white guy.
When people call me on the phone, they're like, Tselane, oh, where is that so exotic? Is that Italian or is that? I'm like, no, it's African. It's black. So black.
Yeah. So what do you think?
What do I think?
How are we supposed to?
I don't think there's a right or wrong way to respond.
Obviously, we're supposed to love these people.
She loves attention. We're not supposed to love them.
Yeah, but do you think that
we have to give them love?
Healthy though.
What's not healthy?
Responding. Well, loving someone is always the right answer. But what's the line between enabling a person to hold on to a delusion?
Oh, she's mentally ill.
Because she needs help over here.
She has a lot more money than we do. She's probably over there making, because she makes money off it. She gets paid to go on
what? To do what?
To be a black woman and go around and talk and be I'm not kidding. This is why I get irritated.
People pay her
to be a guest. Like, you know how they have like people that are like, oh, I'm going to be appearing at this club. They pay her to come.
No.
This is why I'm offended a little. I can't get paid to be a black woman myself, but you're going to get white. And I mean, you're going to take this whole thing, be a black woman and then get paid for it. I feel like it's a little weird. And why are you going to keep this accent like this? Why do you have to come?
Well, would it be worse though?
What's you coming with the one to ask us?
Wouldn't it be worse though if she had
accent?
Well, if she picked some stereotypical accent?
She already is stereotypical. She went and got African clothes like she was from Wakanda forever. And then she had. You got to see this woman now. She was like, I want to have the chickens. No,
I only saw her on Maury.
You got to see.
And then I think I looked up a couple more clips after I saw yours, and you just had
everybody
me cracking
needs to know that I clown and I will imitate people. So please forgive me ahead of time. I did 2 imitations of her, and I have a lot of views from it because I can only find humor in it. For me, I have to laugh because it's so absurd to me. It's absurd, but it's her passion. I respect people's opinion, but I have a right to laugh at it. So I'm gonna be making jokes all day.
It is funny. I don't know. For some
husband's
reason,
doing it too, by the way. And his name, oh gosh, you have to see him too. He's orange now. He looks like he's on Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. They literally look like they were dipped in chocolate. This is what I'm saying. It reminds me of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, like they just went. He's like the blueberry guy, and then she just got dipped in, and it's so great.
Her husband is also
transitioning into a black person or darker,
He gonna lose his
He's
job.
taking the pills so he can be black too.
He gonna mess
and that's
around.
what they're talking about. And then my boyfriend, he did the imitation with me because I dressed up like her at home with my son.
Oh, I saw that. I remember when y'all did that. Yeah. Yeah.
And he comes home and he didn't know I was doing it. And he
just
walks in
jumped
the door.
in.
I had big bowls in my,
Yeah.
she has like really big boobs. And I had bowls and I did blackface. And I know people are going to get mad if a black person does blackface, but I did blacker face, okay? And I definitely darkened my skin and put this like wig. Oh, it was so funny. And he came in, didn't know anything that was happening. I didn't warn him.
Yeah.
So he walks into seeing me like this, doing this thing.
And he was just like, okay.
cracks up and I said, you know Martina the big, da-da-da. And I said, her husband does it too. You got to do it. He just started jumping right in. He was like, this is why I love you. I'm like, I am
funny.
lucky because that's something that people usually be like,
That's
what?
funny.
Martina.
Check her out. Tselane Love at so I know you're on
Instagram.
Twitter
That's
as well.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter, but I don't really tweet.
Same thing?
It's Tselane Love, but that's hard. Saying it is one thing, but it's spelled T as in Tom, SELANELOVE. So
Tselane.
that's a lot.
Tselane Love.
That's a lot.
AKA Tselane Tsunami.
Whoop, whoop.
I appreciate you coming through. Every time you come through, we have so much fun.
Oh my gosh.
We
we're gonna
actually have
party.
to cut though. I'm trying to keep our episodes to bite-sized pieces because like our first
We were
run
like
was a
here
marathon.
forever. We're like, let's stay forever.
Yeah, not only did it was a lot of recording, but it also like it takes forever to edit all that crap.
Oh my God.
My computer's like, really,
crashing.
bro? Really? So we have to keep it short. Anyways, thank you so much. Love you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank everybody for tuning in. This is the Gumbolaya Podcast. I'm C-Aye. Peace.
If it's my time, then it's my time. Worry about yours, 'cause I got mine. 'Cause I got mine. Worry about yours, 'cause I got mine. 'Cause I got mine. PrazimProductions.